Hey guys, in this video I just want to delve a little deeper into the question, how do I get a really great in-ear monitor mix? And I want to give you a little bit of a overview of the way our P16s are set up now. Very similar to in the past. One thing that has been added to these is the store and recall strip down here at the bottom. So these are all on a P16. You can save your settings and then recall them later. What I have done on every P16 unit is I have saved my settings, how I think things should sound, to give you a good base level mix and maybe kind of work from there. So I want everybody to be able to do this. Let me show you how you can recall those settings. So all you do is you hold down the recall button and then you click on the one that you want. So we've selected those right there. So I'll show you, I'll adjust the volume on here. So you take that all the way down. Now if I hold down recall and I push that channel, that went back, everything's back to how the settings were for that channel, as you can see. Let me answer a few more questions. One, I've been keeping these all at the overall volume at halfway, and I put a piece of tape there to kind of remind you of that. If we're all changing this, it's going to be hard for us to remember where our levels were, but if we keep that at a consistent level, it's going to help everybody. I've been keeping the limiter turned all the way up, and let me just delve into a few more settings. So a lot of this stuff, if you can just pull up that preset of mine, that's going to be a really good starting point for you, because I've done a lot of things already to help you with that. If you get to a place where you have created a mix for yourself that you like and you want to save that, you can do that by just hitting the store button. So if I'm the saxophone, I'm going to hold down store and I click that channel and it blinks, and I'll click it one more time and it has been saved. And then, like I said, come back in, recall it, and go back to that channel, and it'll pull up the settings that I had last time I was there. A few things that are important is just a reminder to keep both ears in as much as possible. If you don't keep both ears in, stage volume and all kinds of things are going to affect your mix. You're going to end up turning it up too loud and possibly damaging your hearing long term, and I don't want that to happen. Also, try to keep your volume levels at a comfortable level. You can really hear better when your ears aren't just getting blasted. There's a temptation to just kind of keep turning things up, and I want to encourage you not to do that, but to keep your mix more simple and comfortable. You'll be able to hear and perform better if you do that. I want to show you a little bit of how to use the panning. So if you pull up my setting, I've kind of got how things should be panned for the most part. This is vocal 4 right here being used as an example. So vocal 4 this is the pan button right here, is pan towards the middle. Usually you're going to put yourself in the middle. But panning is really going to help you not have to turn things up as loud. So I really want to encourage you to make use of that. You can see the lead vocal is panned a little to the right, and then vocal 3 that was on this week is panned about the same distance to the left. It usually works good with panning if you pan things an equal distance away. It just makes things feel more full that way. So I've got these both, vocal 3 and vocal 1 pan an equal distance, and then vocal 2 was singing, and I just kind of put them in a little bit different spot, just a tiny bit further over. With the acoustic guitar, I've got it panned close to the middle, but just a little off center. I've got the electric and the bass that are kind of similar instruments panned in equal distance to the left and right. I've got both keyboard channels panned in equal distance to the left and right. I kept the drums in the middle. But it is really going to help clean up your mix if there's some panning in there, and I would recommend you can mess with it some yourself. And if you mess it up and you don't like it, like I said, all you have to do is recall my settings right there, and it'll kind of show you a general rule of thumb of how you should be panning things. Another thing is room mics. So they're not quite labeled yet. They're under this reverb and ambient mic right now. But we have room mics in the room, and if you turn those up, you're going to get some of the room. and it's not going to feel so dry and straight. You're going to want to pan these room mics. This first one is on the left of the room, all the way to the left, and this one all the way to the right. And it just, if the room mics are in the middle, they tend to kind of just muddy things up. But if they're panned off to the right and the left, you can still hear the clean tightness of everything happening, and you can still play in time with the music. But you also get that like live album feel of the drums have a little more air in them, the vocals have a little more air and cleanness and reverb in them, and it can really help with your mix a lot. So what I do volume wise with the room mics is I start turning these up until things start to feel washy and muddy, and then I go just below that. I get them as loud as I can without everything feeling really washy and muddy, and that's a really good place to have those room mics where they help out a lot. Another way, if you're to help create a great in-ear monitor mix, is simply to listen for what is too loud in your mix instead of just always turning things up. We have a tendency to think, oh, I can't hear the acoustic guitar, so I'm going to turn it up. But if instead of doing that, we would think, the bass is a little louder than what I really need. Let me try bringing that down. The drums are a little louder than what I need. Let me bring that down. It's easier to create a great mix by taking things out, because what happens is eventually volume accumulates and eventually things just get really loud in our ears, and we're just really unhappy with the mix. If you've done all of these things and you're still struggling to get a good mix, the last thing I would recommend is just take things out. I would take everything out you don't need. If you're a vocalist, keep the lead vocal in. You're going to need an instrument to kind of hear pitch. Keep the acoustic guitar in. You're going to need the click track and probably a little bit of the drums, and do just that in yourself and try to get that to a place where it's manageable. And then after you do that, if you want to, you can add some more things in. I hope this stuff is really helpful for you. I hope that you can get a better mix than you ever have before, and just enjoy what you're doing more than you have before because of it, and be able to give your very best. And that is all I've got for now. Thanks.